Garesco. Move on now to Memphis and head coach Mike Norvell. Memphis is 8-4 overall, went 5-3 in the American Athletic Conference to win the West Division for the second consecutive year. Coach, congratulations on getting back to the championship game. Thanks for your time today. Can we get your thoughts on the season to date and on the upcoming matchup with UCF, please?
Yeah, most definitely. I was really pleased with our football team. The way that we've responded here the last 4 weeks. It's been a special journey, and we knew that we had to continue to grow as a team, and you learn from the experiences that we faced throughout this year, and our guys have just continued to respond to the challenges that have been in front of us, and having to getting a big win against a Houston squad that came in. It was still a lot of explosive players. I thought defensively we played extremely well. Offensively, really took control of the game. Kind of physically wore them down. Being able to run the ball, there in the second half was a great thing to see, and just the way that we played throughout. But being able to win the West for the second straight year, is a great thing for our program. It shows that we're continuing to grow and progress. Even after losing some dynamic players from the prior season to keep that established, playing at a high level, and now to have another opportunity to go down to Orlando and play a great Central Florida team that has obviously answered the call every time that they've been able to step on the field the last couple of years. So we know going on the road, we've been in this atmosphere. It's kind of unique playing one opponent 4 times in the last 2 seasons, but we're excited for the opportunity, and our kids are going to prepare at a high level, and we're going to go out there and put our best foot forward, hopefully put ourselves in a position to be successful.
We'll take questions now for Coach Mike Norvell, please. Star 1 on your telephone keypad to join the queue. Then the operator will introduce you.
And from the Associated Press, we have Steve McGargy. Please go ahead.
Just wanted to ask you about Darrell Henderson. I was just wondering, how soon did you realize after you took over just what he might be capable of, and what's the thing about him that's just impressed you the most in terms of what he's been able to accomplish for you?
Well, Darrell's definitely a special player, and we actually came in together. When I started, I guess my first day on the job, he was on unofficial visit to a bowl practice. So I got to meet with him, on day one, and he was still exploring a couple other options. And I talked to him about just giving us an opportunity to come and be a part of what we're doing here in Memphis. And I was extremely excited that was the decision that he came to. And since the very first game, I think he had 2 touchdowns in his very first game in his career. Been a very explosive player for us. Back-to-back seasons, over 1,000 yards. Rushing, and then obviously what he's been able to do as a pass receiver as well. But you've really seen him come into his own here this year. He's spent a lot of time, preparing his body. He gained about 15 pounds, this last off season, and he is an absolute complete back. I mean, everybody sees what he does as a rusher and the explosiveness, but also as a pass receiver and as a blocker. One of my favorite plays from this past week is him lead blocking for Sam Kraft to get in the end zone. He's such an unselfish player that will do whatever it takes for this team to be successful. And it's been a fun journey to see him play at this elite level.
Thank you.
And we'll hear from Chris Vanini with The Athletic.
Coach, what do you make of Darrell Mack at quarterback and what you're going to see out of him?
He's a big, talented young man. He's got obviously he can do both. He's been very explosive as a runner. You see that he's got great long speed. Just looking at the East Carolina game that he played, he had multiple explosive runs in that game. He shows tremendous arm strength, but being able to push the ball down the field. I think that the experience he's been able to gain, starting the East Carolina game on the road, and then obviously coming in, there when McKenzie went down last week, both on the road in adverse atmospheres, and to have success that he's had, it shows a lot about that young man. And you know, I think that he's going to present a great challenge for us, not only with the size and speed, but you know, obviously the versatility of what he can do. He's surrounded by a lot of great playmakers there at the running back position, and obviously at the wideout spot. But he definitely is going to be a great challenge.
And this is the fourth time you've played UCF in 2 years, actually the fifth time you've prepared for them in 2 years. How does that play into the game and the fact that, you know, you guys haven't won any of those yet?
Yeah, that's not a good thing when I think of those numbers. But you know, we have a pretty good sense of their personnel. That's, you know, with the coaching change. You know, this is the second time that we've prepared for this staff and some of the things they're doing schematically. But you know, we do have a great sense of the personnel and, you know, how talented they are. You know, they've had guys that have stepped up to an elite level here this year. Guys that you know, have got that opportunity and done a great job. I mean, I think you look at what they've done defensively. You'll hear the last few weeks. You know, they've held Cincinnati to 13 points. You know, South Florida to 10 points. You know, they've really kind of, you know, put everything together on that end. And then, you know, offensively, it's one of the most explosive offenses in the country. You know, regardless of you know, who's taking snaps. I mean, I thought it said a lot about the depth of their team. You know, obviously McKenzie's one of the greatest players in college football, and to see what happened to him is sickening. You know, he's not only the player he is, but he's such a great young man, and you know, for him to go down, but it showed how his team rallied behind you know, Mac when he came in, but also, you know, who they were playing for, and so. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a fun atmosphere to be a part of. We've been down there. We've been in games. You know, the championship game last year was an extraordinary event, and you know, we have to prepare at a high level this week. You know, we've got to you know, go out there and make plays, and you know, hopefully there at the end we can be in a position to have success. But we know that it's going to be a heck of a game.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Chris.
And we'll hear from Don Wade with the Daily Memphian.
Mike, how much benefit do you feel like you guys saw from last year's conference championship game and even the close game you played at the Liberty Bowl this season in recruiting?
Well, yeah, you know, I mean, I think this game, you know, between these two opponents, there's been a lot of attention on it, especially the last two. You know, the conference championship game and then our game here in Memphis, and you people have a tremendous respect for these two programs. I believe, you know, on a national scale, and you know, our guys both football teams compete extremely hard. You know, they're both explosive in every aspect, and so the times that we've hooked it up, they've been fun games to watch. You know, we've got great ratings, you know, nationwide, and you know, I see this being a very similar type matchup. You know, one that is going to be you know, definitely well viewed, being on on ABC. I'm sorry, but you know, there's going to be a lot of eyes on this game, and we're excited to have the opportunity to be a part of it. And you know, I know there'll be a lot of people tuning in.
Do the kids, you think, when you play a game like that against an opponent like this, when the stakes are that high, does that just kind of confirm to them that everything you're telling them about, hey, this is how we're going to play, it's going to be open, it's going to be fun, it just makes that easier to get that point across?
Well, I mean, they're excited for the opportunity, and you know, they understand the opponent that we're playing and the talent that they have. And you know, our guys want to go out there and you know, play the best of our ability, and if we can do that, you know, it's going to be a great matchup, and you know, we're competing for, you know, we have one game to win a conference championship, and you know, everything's on the line here. You got to you know, obviously have a great week in our prep, and you know, then when you get out there on the field, you know, don't let the moment be too big for you. You just got to trust in your training and go out there and perform when your number's called.
Take the next question, please.
We'll next hear from Brian Moss with TigerSportsReport.com.
Hey, Coach, in the month of November, you guys have improved dramatically in defense, in my opinion. And one aspect of that is getting pressure on the quarterback. You guys are tied for second in the nation in getting sacks. Did you guys do anything differently in the month of November, or just things started to click for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we've been really working hard at that throughout the season, and here this last half of the season, I think our guys have been much improved, and really kind of sparked by the first Central Florida game, where we were able to get some pressure. In that game, and that really kind of, gave our guys some confidence of what we could build on and how we needed to prepare, throughout the week. I think, we're a young group up front, and, to see those guys starting to grow in their confidence and, you obviously putting in the work during the practice week and seeing that pay off there during the game is something that we're trying to continue to build off of. And it's been a big key for us throughout this the last third of the season, be able to get pressure on the quarterback, forcing some quicker decisions. And that's going to be a big part of this game. We've got to be able to try to make Mac uncomfortable, and whether that's with a 3, 4, 5-man rush. I mean, you've got to try to get pressure. And this is a really good offensive line that we're going against a team that is very balanced in the run game, pass game. So we're going to have our hands full, but that pass rush and getting pressure is going to be critical in the game.
All right, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
We'll hear from Dan Tortora of WakeUpCallDT.com.
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you?
Doing well, Dan. How about yourself?
Doing well. Just what you can say about going through that adversity this season and losing 3 of 4 before you've won your last 4 in a row. Just what you saw from the team to go from losing 3 of 4 to winning your last 4 and obviously winning your side of the conference.
Well, I think it shows a lot in the belief of what we're doing, the culture that's been established. Our guys, they never swayed from what we know it takes to be successful, and we just continued to work, continue to believe in each other. And like I said, even when we had some setbacks, I was absolutely confident in the young men that I have, the coaches that are leading those young men, and we had to clean up some of those details. And I'm grateful for the experience that we've had to get to this point, because this is a battle-tested football team. We've faced adversity, in game, throughout the season. So regardless of what we're going to see, possibly on Saturday, this is a team I know will respond, and we've got to make sure that we continue to do that. It's going to be a 60-minute battle here. Come Saturday at 3:30, and our guys, they've got to have that mindset that do not get distracted by anything that you cannot control, and just continue to work, continue to play, and you can put yourself in a position where good things can happen.
You made the decision to stay with Memphis. Just what you can say about, this season, that decision to have that extension and to continue to be a part of this program and a part of its present and a part of its future as well.
Yeah, I've got a great situation here. It's been a tremendous opportunity for me and my family, being able to lead these young men, and we feel like we've been able to create a wonderful foundation, here, and the culture is something that has been a hard-earned culture. We've had to work hard to get it to this point. I mean, there's been some ups, there's been some downs, but our guys, there's complete belief in it, and it's a special group, and to be able to have the commitment from the university, the community, everybody backing, what we're doing as well as how we're doing it. It definitely is a joy to come to work every day, and that's being a part of a great conference. One that you're going to be battle tested each and every week, with wonderful competition and athletes that you get to face. So, and we're definitely enjoying it, and to have an opportunity to represent the West Division here in this championship game. It's something that we don't take lightly. We celebrate it, but we also understand that there's a tremendous responsibility for how we need to play this week, and we're grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck this week.
Thank you, sir.
And we take one more for Coach Norvell, please.
Thank you, and that will be Trace Triclo with the Nightline Sports Network.
Hello, Coach. Your team had a great deal of success, especially on the ground against UCF a couple weeks back. What are you seeing differently from UCF on defense the last couple of weeks?
They've done a great job of attacking. Their kids play with a relentless pursuit. I mean, whether it's a base call or one of their pressure packages, it's one of the best tackling teams. Looking at their secondary, got a couple of wonderful safeties that can fill from the top down. And these guys they've really done a nice job. The thing that people forget sometimes, with all the success that UCF's had is, they're still in their first year with this coaching staff and with the schemes that they're playing. So, just like anything else, with the more experience they're getting, you can see that sense of confidence continuing to grow. And, going back from our first game to them to now, this is a team that's, is much improved. It's one that, you look at them defensively, it's an impressive group. They've got some talented players. They mix up, playing man, playing zone. I mentioned the different, blitzes and pressures that they present, but, even when they're just sitting there playing base, I mean, they're tough to handle. So, it's a talented unit. We're going to have to, it's going to take an extraordinary effort to be able to have success. But, our guys are excited for the challenge.
Has UCF gotten Memphis' best shot yet?
I know we've went swinging at them. So it's been we've had a couple of extraordinary games these last couple of years, but we've at the critical times we've made some mistakes, and they've made some plays that have been the difference. And so we've got to make sure that going into this game, understanding that every play could be the one play, it could be the difference. And so whether it's in the first quarter or they're in the last drive in the fourth, we've got to make sure that we're maintaining our focus on the details, the situation. You can't do things that hurt ourselves, and understand that these guys are going to make plays. They're very talented in every phase. But if we can continue to focus on ourselves, and I got a tremendous amount of confidence in our football team and what we can do. Here on Saturday.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, thanks so much for joining us today. Congratulations again on getting back to the championship, and look forward to seeing you in Orlando this week.